What up, Ho Biscuits? It's your girl Skitten, back at it again. We're here to watch totally pointless but awesome facts you need to know. I feel like need to know is probably a bit of an exaggeration, but if you have any useless facts that you know, feel free to put them in the comments down below. I was trying to think of some useless facts that I know, but none of them are cool. They're all dorky. Like the two dots above the U in like German words is called an umlaut. Pneumo ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis is the longest word in the English language. That's it. That's all. Those are the only useless facts that I know. So hopefully I learned some more dumbass trivia to bring up at parties when I'm feeling a little awkward. And with that said, let's go ahead and get started in a 3, and a 2, and a 1, and a...
What's a pointless fact you know? The reason vampires can't see themselves in mirrors is because mirrors used to be made with a layer of silver inside. However, modern mirrors don't, meaning that vampires could look in the mirror now.
Okay. That's fucking cool.
During the papal election of 1292 to 1294, the cardinals were taking a long time to select a pope. A hermit wrote to the cardinals saying, if they didn't choose a pope soon, God would be pissed. The cardinals elected this hermit as Pope Celestine V.
What?
He initially refused and had to be dragged to Rome.
How do you drag? You
He
put
spent
your
his
hands on the
entire
Pope?
papacy
What?
writing the rule that popes were allowed to resign. When he
He
was
said, "Oh
finished
hell no,
writing
y'all not about
it,
to
he
drag me
resigned.
into this shit."
I read in the other thread, if you took the whole solar system and shrunk it down so that the sun was at your head and the orbit of Pluto was at your feet, Uranus would be just where you'd expect it to be. Pigeons, along with flamingos and penguins, produce milk. As in they produce a fatty, creamy fluid and exclusively feed their young on it for the
What?
first few weeks of their lives before weaning them, controlled by the hormone prolactin, same as in mammals.
Really?
I can't think of a single instance where knowing
I didn't
about
know
bad
bird
milk
milk was
will
a
help me.
thing. That's gross.
A British submarine and a French submarine, both carrying nuclear missiles, collided with each other because they couldn't detect one another.
What?
If you took all of the asteroids in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter and mashed them together into a single big object, it would only amount to 4% the mass of Earth's moon.
Okay.
The largest asteroid, Ceres, accounts for about 1/3 of the total mass of the asteroid belt.
Jesus.
Her dad is the 10th most popular Christmas list request for kids. Disney park employees point with 2 fingers instead of 1. The reason for this, that they tell you, that pointing with 1 finger in other cultures is disrespectful. While that is true, they usually avoid the part that Walt Disney himself used to point with 2 fingers.
What?
Because he was always smoking.
What?
They actually go to great lengths to hide
I
this,
never noticed
and
how they
any
pointed,
official
'cause, like, I was a
picture
kid,
of
I
him
didn't
has the
give a
cigarette
fuck.
photoshopped out. It only still exists in old videos because of how hard it was to not show that.
That's hilarious.
There once existed an alleged theoretical state of war that lasted 335 years and 19 days, and was between the Dutch and an archipelago off the coast of southwest England called the Isles of Scilly.
What?
What's more, there were no casualties, because the Dutch forgot that they were at war with the Isles.
What?
It wasn't until a Scilly historian contacted the Dutch about the war in 1985, and received the information that the war was still technically ongoing, that a peace treaty was signed in 1986.
So basically, some dudes were talking, they got mad, they were like, what you gonna do? We're going to war, nigga. We going to war. We at war. They sent out this whole declaration of war. And then like the next day after their fucking testosterone dropped down or some shit, they're like, yo, what was the big deal about yesterday? And it was like, nah, it was nothing. It's all good. And Silly was like, we not about to do nothing to piss off the Dutch. So that's fucking funny. What you gonna do?
After the Paraguayan War, 1870, there were only 22,000 males left alive in the country.
Wow.
Almost 70% of its adult male population died,
Holy
which left a
shit.
female to male ratio of 4
That
to
is
1.
devastating.
Possums eat about 5,000 ticks in one season and help prevent the spread of Lyme disease. Thanks, only marsupial in North America.
So I read this, right? But I could have sworn it said 5,000 dicks. And I was like, wow, that is not a useless fact. That is important. We need to know that these possums are out here destroying men's penises. But it was ticks, not dicks.
MasterCard numbers start with 5. Visa cards start with 4.
Yes.
Discover cards and store specialty cards start with 6. Amex starts with 3.
Everybody knows this.
Are retail in high school.
Right?
In
Does
men,
everybody know
the
that?
average speed of semen exiting the penis during ejaculation is 28 miles per hour, which is slightly faster than Usain Bolt's world record running pace.
Alrighty then.
27.8 miles per hour.
Who measured the speeds to get an average? And how did you measure the speed? I'm just curious. Where are the studies with the empirical data to back up this claim? Where are they? I don't think they exist.
Lollipop is the longest word in the English language that can be typed to eat their poison. The dolphins will lick it until they get high. I learned this at the aquarium today.
What? You know, I actually think somebody told me that in my comment section the other day.
Most people know about Amazon Prime, but they don't know Amazon's went public in 97, which is a prime number. Write out the full year as 1997, and it's still a prime number.
Okay.
Specifically, the IPO was on May 15th, 1997, 5,151,997. The 15th of May 1997 is also prime.
Right.
For you non-Americans, the 15th of May 1997 and the 15th of May 1997 create two more prime numbers, 1,551,997 and 15,051,997.
Yes, you're right. That was a useless
That white stuff
fact.
isn't bad poop. That's Cervicus B. The brown/green thing in the middle is their poop, as they release both at the same time.
Alright.
The Clifton Suspension Bridge, Bristol, was built because a wine merchant left money in his will in trust to build a, at the time, pointless bridge. An act of parliament was required to alter the will, to enable them to charge tolls.
Government gotta get their money, man.
Planes can reach a point where they fly too fast and too slow simultaneously. Too fast, exceeding the airframe limits. Too slow. The air is not dense enough at this altitude to create lift without more speed.
Oh, wow.
There was a British submarine in WW2 named the HMS Trident. The crew was gifted a reindeer by the Russians. They named it Pollyanna.
Why?
And kept it on board the sub for 6 weeks.
Why?
101 Dalmatians, Peter Pan, Hercules and Mulan are the only Disney movies where both parents are present and don't die by the end of the movie. A German sub in World War II sank because the skipper didn't know how to flush the new toilet, which caused seawater to flood in and create chlorine gas when it came into contact with the ship's batteries. Even worse for them, when they surfaced, the Royal Navy had a ship right next to them.
Oh my god.
The Germans scuttled the ship and 4 men died before the remaining crew were
Oh my
captured.
god.
In Liechtenstein's last military engagement in 1886, none of the 80 soldiers sent were injured, and that in fact 81 returned, including a new Italian friend.
Jesus.
People from Western Europe and America tend to lay their tongue on the roof of the mouth and behind the top teeth when relaxed, whereas people from Eastern Europe lay their tongue on the bottom of the mouth, behind their bottom teeth when relaxed. If you keep a goldfish in a black box with no access to light for more than 3 weeks, it will become white.
Who would do that? Why would you do that to your
Butter knives.
goldfish?
Butter knives were created in 17th century France after nobles kept whipping out daggers and stabbing each other at dinner parties.
Ha!
Source: I learned this randomly watching the History
Gang,
Channel
gang.
right before a commercial break about a decade ago, and it's stuck
fucking
with me ever
hilarious.
since. I've found at least 15 occasions to
They
whip
were
this
like,
little
okay, we
knowledge
gotta
nugget
do
out.
something about this.
The guppy was named after Robert John Lichmere Guppy. Glad he picked Guppy instead of Lichmere. Also, Captain Crunch's boat is named Guppy.
What? Where do you even find that
It's
information
called
out
a
at?
dashboard in a car because in horse and buggy days, there was a board in the front that protected the driver from mud and flying debris when the horses dashed away.
Okay.
I know the exact speed of light by heart. 299,792,458 m/s.
Okay.
I used to think it would come handy for my physics degree, but every prof and textbook used 3E8 instead.
Don't know what you're talking about, but okay.
Bambi, in the original novels, was a roe deer. In the movie though, he became a white-tailed deer because this species was better known by Americans. In the German movie they for some reason kept referring to Bambi as a wren, while in reality he was a Hirsch.
Okay.
This resulted in one of the most iconic zoological misunderstanding in German animated movie history. For some reason those two types of animals are both translated into the word deer.
What?
Many people also believed that we were just female Hirsch. The word deer still confuses my German
Sir,
brain.
we're gonna need a translation.
Sloths have a
I don't
digestive
understand
system
why you were
to match
confused.
their grueling slow moving. It takes days for them to process and absorb their food. Their sole food source are leaves, which results in simple gut flora. This means that sloths don't fart. Rather,
Okay.
the methane that's produced by their gut flora is absorbed through the gut and into the sloth's bloodstream. They then breathe out the methane instead.
Okay.
Also, scientists have no clue whether spiders fart or
Don't
not.
sloths, can't sloths like starve to death because their metabolism's so fucking slow?
A blue whale's fart bubble is as big as a horse.
Okay.
The name Wendy was made up for the book Peter Pan.
No, it wasn't. I'm gonna look that up. That shit's fake. Wow. Okay. It's true. Or its existence in Britain as a feminine name. So it was used as a last name, but it was never somebody's first name until, okay, that makes more sense.
Snails have 14,000 teeth.
What? No, they
I
don't.
don't
I'm looking up this one too. Snails can have between 1,000 to 12,000 or more teeth. Okay.
know what to do with this information. A big reason sloths are dying is because they poop on the ground. Pooping and covering the poop with dirt can take several days, and they are defenseless while doing so.
What?
There is no reason for sloths to poop on the ground, but they do it anyway.
Okay. That was such an interesting fact to end this on. I'm gonna go off that. I'm gonna let that sink in with y'all guys. With y'all guys. Peace out, Hope Biscuits. It's getting lit.